Commissioner. We now will take up House File 1 by Representative Mariani, Police Reform and Accountability. Representative Mariani, would you like to make a motion?
Mr. Chair, I would move House File 1 be recommended to be placed on the General Register.
The motion is before us. If you would like to explain the bill.
Mr. Chair, I think this can go rather quickly. This language is the exact same language that this committee acted on in the last special session, where we passed forward Senate File 104, Senate File 3, and Senate File 1, which were then subsequently put together on the floor of the House in floor action and then sent to the Senate. This is a police accountability, police reform bill, which responds to the police brutality that killed George Floyd on May 25th. It has a rich number of proposals, a strong set of proposals that range over a number of issues related to reforming our systems, as well as direct expressions of Minnesotan values. And very quickly, what they are a prohibition of the use of chokeholds, a duty to intercede and report on the part of individual peace officers, warrior training, prohibition, police residency, reform lifting the ban on local control over residency decisions, reform of the arbitration process, the strengthening of law enforcement citizen oversight councils, a number of provisions strengthening the licensing processes at the Peace Officer Standards and Training Board. There's also a number of provisions having to do with both prosecution and investigation. So this does have the language with the Attorney General nexus for the prosecution of police deadly use of force. Also an investigatory unit at the BCA that would be an independent unit to investigate those wrongful deaths. There is a community-led public safety office and grant program in this bill. There are a number of provisions related to training for peace officers, focused on mental health and autism training. There is also an effort to support peace officers through a peer-to-peer counseling program in order to deal with effectively address the stresses that peace officers endure as a part of their work. There's also restore the vote provision in here, the cash bail provision in here. In committee last session, we added the Indigenous Women's Task Force, which simply just extended out the date by which they could use the appropriations that we made last year. There's a statute of limitations lifting for wrongful death lawsuits at the hands of a peace officer. Mr. Chair, we are negotiating these provisions. We have been since the last special session through the interim to this special, and even as we speak right now, I was up at 7 this morning having a conversation with our majority leader in the other body, along with the speaker of this body. And I can tell you that the provisions that we're negotiating are not all of these provisions. We are focused on the post-war reform issues, the duty to intercede, the chokehold, the warrior training, residency reform, arbitration reform, investigatory reform, and the training components of peer-to-peer counseling. So there's a number of issues that are off the table in all practical terms, like the cash bail, the restore the vote, the Attorney General, et cetera. Just giving you that for context. The cost of this entire package before us, you all have the spreadsheet is $22,680 in the remainder of this biennium, and then $44 million out in tails for the next biennium. What we're negotiating right now is $3,669,000 for the remainder of this year, or this biennium rather, and then $6,958,000 for the next biennium. Obviously, we're not going to be voting on that. We're voting on the entire package, but again, I'm just giving a context here. So the point here is not to attempt to draft a bill that reflects all the changes that are being negotiated back and forth. But just to continue with the same shell vehicle that this body has already acted, which then provides us with the proposed legislation that would then formally allow us to continue to negotiate with the Senate. So, Mr. Chair, with that, I would urge support from all members. It's obviously a very important issue for us to address. It's one that, quite frankly, impacts the life and human rights of human beings, as well as the quality of our public safety system, and also, quite frankly, has a direct impact on our economic well-being, as corporations are already reporting a difficulty in recruiting high-quality candidates to their organizations here in Minnesota if they're attempting to draw from communities of color, frankly, because folks do not have confidence that this is a safe place if you're Black or brown or Asian or some other person of color. So, members, I would urge your support and stand for any questions.
Okay. In fact, on that, those last few points that you were making, Representative Mariani, I'll reinforce and remind the committee, as I said at the beginning, much of what we would be doing today, some of the issues have been negotiated and agreed to. Other issues are still under negotiation, and those negotiations are going to take place in the days ahead. So one of our goals here today is to get the legislation up on the House floor so we're in a position to adopt the results of those final negotiations in the days ahead. So Representative Mariani, as you point out, this bill is a good example of that, as was the first bill that was up earlier, and the capital investment bill discussions, as we know, are going to continue on that one as well. So any discussion on the bill? Representative Garofalo. You're muted.
There we go. You shouldn't have said anything. I just would have talked the whole time and you could have nodded your head and spared the pain of hearing my voice.
Well, we enjoy hearing from you from time to time.
Just time to time, though, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, Representative Mariani, and you've mentioned that you've got ongoing negotiations in this matter. There are fiscal costs with this bill. Is the way to pay for these things, is that part of the negotiations as well?
Representative Mariani.
Mr. Chair and Representative Garofalo, the Speaker and Majority Leader are having those conversations as we speak.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman and Representative Mariani, by that do you mean Speaker Hartman and Majority Leader Gazelka?
Mr. Chair, Representative Gazelka, yes, and in fact, I can tell you that both bodies have put issues on the table for the negotiation that involve costs, both bodies.
And Mr. Chairman and Representative Mariani, my chief concern, again, putting aside the individual items of this bill, is that that we are paying for things, and I haven't seen bills moving through our process. I'm not aware of any negotiations of how we're paying for this stuff. So that was the purpose of my question. Mr. Chairman and Representative Mariani, I'll be voting no on your bill today. The fiscal costs are one of them, but I do know that Representative Mariani, you and I have known each other a long time. Your heart is in the right place with this. You're trying to do the right thing. And I do wish you good luck in achieving compromise on this bill before the end of next week. So, but I'll be voting no today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Representative Garofalo. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Representative Mariani, would you care to renew your motion?
Mr. Chair, I would renew my motion that House File 1 be placed on the be recommended to be placed on the General Register.
Okay, the motion is before us. Any further discussion? Ms. Barkman, do you want to take the roll?
Representative Carlson?
Aye.
Carlson, aye. Representative Olson?
Aye.
Olson, aye. Representative Garofalo?
No.
Garofalo, no. Representative Albright?
No.
Albright, no. Representative Bernardi? Bernardi, aye. Representative Davids?
No.
Davids, no. Representative Davney,
Davney, aye.
Davney, aye. Representative Drazkowski,
No.
Drazkowski, no. Representative Eklund,
Eklund, aye.
Eklund, aye. Representative Hamilton,
No.
Hamilton, no. Representative Hanson,
Hanson, aye.
Hanson, aye. Representative Hausman,
Aye.
Hausman, aye. Representative Hertas,
Trust, no.
Hertas, no. Representative Hornstein,
Ornstein, aye.
Hornstein, aye. Representative Kresha,
Kresha, no.
Kresha, no. Representative Liebling,
Liebling, aye.
Liebling, aye. Representative Lilly,
Lily, aye.
Lilly, aye. Representative Long,
Aye.
Long, aye. Representative Mariani,
Mariani, aye.
Mariani, aye. Representative Markwart,
Markwart, no.
Markwart, no. Representative Nelson,
Nelson, aye.
Nelson, aye. Representative Noor,
Nor, aye.
Noor, aye. Representative Pulowski,
Pulowski, aye.
Pulowski, aye. Representative Poppy,
Poppy, aye.
Poppy, aye. Representative Schumacher, excused. Representative Scott,
No.
Scott, no. Representative Torkelson,
Torkelson, no.
Torkelson, no. Representative Vogel,
No.
Vogel, no. Representative Wagenius,
Yes.
Wagenius, aye. 17 ayes, 11 nays.
Motion prevails. The bill is on its way to the House floor. Thank you, Representative Mariani.